Fresh Start fam, welcome back to my channel. My name is April and this is April's Fresh Start Budgets. As you can see, we've got some stuff to do today. So I realize that we are almost at the end of May, where we will be tallying up the completed savings challenges for the month of May. However, we still have not allocated our April sinking funds that we finished, or April funds that we finished, to the sinking funds. We put the money in the bank, we converted it to prop money, but we needed to do our cash planning sheet to figure out which sinking funds this money is gonna go to. So if you guys watched my video from a couple weeks ago where I totaled the completed savings challenges, we completed $4,601 of savings challenges. Now, $3,000 of that went to my son's tuition, so that's already deposited into his 529. We had $600 going towards vacation, so we put that into the high yield savings account for vacation. We had another money go towards Easter. We had some money go towards my oldest son's flight. So we had a couple things, but we had $1,279 in cash that we were able to deposit in addition to the $600, so a total of $1,879. And that's money that we could put into the sinking funds. So I went ahead and I brought out one of my cash planning sheets, which allows me to figure out which sinking funds I want to allocate the money to. And how I figure that out is I also use my sinking funds tracker here. And I figure out these are the categories that I've already funded. And here is what a blank version of this sinking funds tracker looks like. So you could put in the name if you have multiple items in one binder. I changed mine this year to only have one binder. However, in the past, I've had multiple binders. And I know a lot of us in the budgeting community do. So I gave you a category for the budget or for the binder name and for the category within that binder. And then how much you want to fill it with monthly. And then you could fill it out just like I did here with if you fill it for January, February, March, April, and so on. So I went ahead and already filled out the categories that we are going to take care of for the month of April. Since we were behind on our vacation money, I filled in that we put in the $300 for January and February with this $600. So this I do not have any prop money for because that is already taken care of. And as you guys will see, once I get to the vacation category in my sinking funds, it's technically already spent. Same with the emergency fund. Since that money was deposited into the high yield savings account, we do not have any prop money representing money in there today. But I will also be updating my 200 envelope challenge. So the 200 envelope challenge here comes from Budget with Ira. Once this is 100% completed, I will have $20,100. So if you guys know, my ultimate goal for my emergency fund is to have $20,000. So I'm using this one instead of as an actual challenge that I complete and fill. I'm using it as more of a tracker to track my status. So you could see here, it comes with this amazing poster board that has all the envelopes opened and showing the amount in them. And it comes with a sticker sheet so that as I fill the envelopes, I can close those envelopes with the stickers here. And then you'll see here, these are the envelopes that I've already closed. So this one, the last time we updated it, we were at $4,429. So we have $4,429 worth of envelopes already completed. I will give you guys the new emergency fund update, balance update as of today, and then we will close those envelopes by putting the trackers on there. So let's first go to our cash planning sheet. I brought out all of the prop money as allocated here. I already, like I said, marked on the sinking funds tracker which categories are going to get what today, but we will go ahead and bring out our sinking funds binder and we will start allocating some of this money. So the reason why I deposited the money in cash and I use prop money is that it is a visual representation of the money that is already sitting in my high yield sinking funds or in my high yield savings account. So I have an ally account, which has a main bucket. Whenever I deposit the money, then I take it on days like today. And this money has been sitting in the main bucket accruing interest just like it normally would. It's been sitting in the main bucket for the last 3 weeks, waiting for me to allocate it. I have not had a chance to, but today I'm going to allocate it. It gains interest whether it's sitting in the main bucket or whether it's sitting in the like subcategorized buckets. So I wasn't losing out on any interest. I was just being lazy and I wasn't telling my money which exactly category I wanted it to work for me in. So let's go to our giving category. We are going to do $209 in giving. Now, typically I do $150 a month, or I try to, in giving. However, you guys will see here, there is a charitable organization near us that does emergency services for children, and they will take when parents are stressed out, working, having DV issues, anything like that. They will take the children and house the children and until the parent can get their situation straightened out, or, you know, what the issue is resolved. So this community organization, it's run by an amazing sister who does amazing, amazing, amazing things. They very rarely ever are not in need of stuff. And I felt that I needed to gift to them. They put out a kind of bulletin that they needed some things going into summer break, that there was a family that was in need, and they immediately took them in. So they needed some things, and I spent $200, which I only had 136 in there. I spent $294 on Amazon getting that sent over to them. But you know what? If I'm going to go into the negative on anything, and when I say I go into the negative in it, so I have also in my Ally, I have my interest going into the main bucket. And I kind of use the interest that I've accrued as a buffer so that if I ever go into the negative on a category, I technically am not overdrafted on that category. I have that buffer of the interest that I've accrued over the last few years to kind of, okay, it's okay to go into the negative in this category for a little bit until I can replenish it. But I don't want to do that consistently, and I definitely don't want to do that over several categories, but it's okay to do it, in my mind, over 1 or 2 categories temporarily, only in my high yield savings account, and only if I know I have the buffer to cover it. So if that makes sense, and I hope it does. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the description box below, or in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer them. So the balance that I have of $209 after I have allocated all the money, that's 100% going into charitable giving, to try to make up for that. So I'm going to put that on deposited this on 5/1, even though today is technically the 16th. We are going to do a deposit. Okay, and we are going to do 209. So let me get out my calculator here. All right, so if I have 209 that I'm putting in, but I was already at negative 158, that means I will only technically be putting in 51. So let me pull out the 209. So there's 200, there's 5, 7, and 9. Okay. So I'm going to put the 209 in here, but I'm going to make it right here in a little bit. And I will only leave 51 in the actual envelope. So, but for right now, now you guys know why. That's why, like that. All right, so Christmas. The only time I put in for Christmas is when I am able to replace the cash with a prop holder in my Santa All Year Long book. I have done that once. I did it, I believe, after March. I have not been able to do that yet again, so there's nothing to put in for Christmas as of yet. All right, birthdays. We are going to do $80 into birthdays. We had my birthday in April. My husband's birthday's in May. We did spend we took out technically $60 to go towards my birthday, but my husband was like, I don't know what you want. And I was like, that's fine. Just, hang on to the cash. I'll come up with it at some point. So he's holding on to that cash. And actually we did talk about something that not only he wants, but I want, and we might share it. And we also might make it my Mother's Day and his Father's Day gift, but that would be really, really, really expensive. And we're not 100% sure we're going to do that yet. So We're thinking about doing an e-bike and sharing an e-bike because Junior is a little speed demon on his pedal bike and he can go really, really, really fast. And we're having a hard time being in our mid 40s, keeping up with this little fella. But we obviously love family bike rides with him. So we were thinking about doing an e-bike, and for right now we would just share one. And then if we decide, yes, we absolutely love it, maybe we would buy a second one. If one of us loves it and the other one doesn't, then the bike will become that person's. So we're not 100% sure yet. We're still talking about it and we're still looking at our options because they're very expensive, but it would be my birthday gift where he would use that 60 towards it. His birthday gift, even though I did get him something, my Mother's Day gift and his Father's Day gift, plus probably need some more money. So, and then I did get Randy, my oldest, a backpack on Amazon so that he can go on his flight at the end of this month. That was $30 on Amazon. And then Etsy, I bought a friend a gift just like a week or two ago, probably about 2 weeks ago now, on Etsy. And, so I had to go into the negative slightly on that one, but we're going to add the deposit today. I'm going to put 5/1, even though this is the 16th, only because 5/1 was when I technically put the money into the high yield savings. So we will have a balance of 65 in here. Let me get out the 20, 40, 60, and 80. And again, once I always do like 2 or 3 times a week, I will go in and I will track all of my transactions. And when I track my transactions, that's when I will make sure that the right amount of prop money is in the envelope. So I will settle those all up then. All right, kids, this was also a very, very spendy month for Mr. Junior Man. So as you can see here, there's a lot of transactions here. So as of the last time we put in $200 on April 1st, we had $756. So I got him another First Communion suit. And then I had to get shoes and I had to get a dress shirt and he wanted a gold tie to match it. And that was $163. Then there were track photos, and then there was a banner that he had to make for First Communion. We had to buy the supplies for the banner. And then we got his photos professionally taken at JCPenney. That was $87. We picked him up a couple prayer books and some thank you notes at the religious bookstore. That was $38. I had to pay for his May lunches at school. That was $10. I already signed him up for cross country for the fall of 2025. That was $95. I did already buy previously to tracking this. I think I got it like around Christmas time when there was a good sale, some teacher gifts for teacher appreciation last week. But apparently one of the moms was mentioning to me that the, class gift was a little lackluster than what she wanted. So I made a donation to that as well for $20. And then I printed some of his track pictures just at CVS, and that was $7. So we're at $283 in here right now. We are going to add the next 200. This time of year, I swear, is super, super pricey for all things kids and end of school season. So we're going to put $200 in this one. And we should have the 283. Like I said, I will make sure everything equates when I do my next tracking. All right, home category. I only got, I think, 2 things in the home category. We had a sink blockage. So my husband had to go to Harbor Freight and pick up a couple tools to help get the sink unblocked. And then I've been wanting a solution for storage in my foyer. We had a bench where we would put on shoes, but honestly, none of us put on shoes at the bench anyways. We pretty much would either sit on the steps, which were right next to the foyer, or on the playroom couch, which is again right next to the foyer, to put on our shoes. So I wanted a cabinet for the foyer that would hold mail and like candles and my purses and Junior's backpack when he's not in school. So I wanted something that would hide all of that type of stuff instead of just going into the closet all the time, because the closet is also kind of our like broom closet where we keep the vacuum that we use on the main floor and like umbrellas and hats and gloves and all that type of stuff. So I kind of wanted something, a foyer cabinet, and I finally found one and it was on sale. So I got it for $162. I think it looks really pretty. If I get a chance, I'll take a picture and I'll insert it here. I'm not fully like done decorating it yet, but I think it looks nice, and it does fit for the solutions that we needed. It's not huge. So that was $162. So we had a balance in there of $2,257. We are adding in our next home fulfilling of $348. Okay. So once we add that into the 2,057, we will have 2,405. Okay. Excellent. So let's go ahead and add in the, let's do it this way. 1, 2, 340. Whoop, I'm missing a 5. 45, 47, and 48. Okay, so there's the 348 going into that one. And that one is now squared away. All right, auto, we are just adding the 152. I don't think I spent anything in auto. No, I did not. So we're just adding the 152. I don't think we need to spend any auto anytime soon, but we had 781 in there. Now we added the 781 and we added 152. So we will now have 933 in auto. Okay, so let's do 150 and 2. Okay. It feels really nice finally being able to allocate the money. All right, so like I said, vacation. We added the 600, but technically I've already spent it. So I put in that I added the 600 on 5/1, and then I went to Florida in April to visit my dad and help him get a couple things moved into his new place. I paid for the rental car. That was $94. It was the rental car, the gas to fill it up at the end, and then the tolls. So I paid $94 for that. And then I got travel insurance for our 2027 cruise. I paid for the, an excursion for the Explorer of the Seas. We're doing a dragon coaster in Labadee, Haiti, when we do that cruise in January 2026. That was $58. And then I got the drink package on Explorer. It was a really good price, so I got it. For myself, it was $402. So that $600, like I said, is now dwindled to nothing, and I am in the negative by $294. So like I said, I have the buffer to cover any negatives, knowing that it will get replenished pretty soon. So I'm okay with having it in the negative because I do have, number one, I have a sinking fund, or not a sinking fund, a savings challenge that I'm working on in my Sip Sip Save videos for the drink package. And then I have the 2 items on Game and Save Day that are going towards vacations. So I'm okay with that because I know it's going to get paid off really soon. And it technically is not a debt because I have the money sitting in there. It's just not technically supposed to go to this category. This category is borrowing it temporarily. So that's how I kind of think of it. It's not a real debt. It's more like a debt to myself or a debt to my other categories, I guess you could say. All right, car insurance is going to get 80. Nothing new on the car insurance. I think I am not due to pay again until July. So we had 667. We're going to add 80. We'll be at 747. So let's add 20, 40, 60, 80. Okay. Same thing with our pets. We did spend a little bit in the pets category. I got food in April for my dogs. I have 3 dogs. You can see them here. I have Daisy the Black Lab, Loki the Boston Terrier, and Leia the Boston Terrier. So I got food mostly for Daisy and Leia. They eat the same type of food and they're totally fine with it. But Loki is pretty picky. So I got food for for Leia and Daisy in early April, and then in late April, I'm trying to find something that Loki will eat. He's very picky. So I'm trying like a fresh food, not really 100% fresh, but it's like freeze dried fresh food. So I'm going to try that. And then I got them treats in May. So I did do a little bit of spending in that category, but that's okay. We have the money in there. And I'd really like to find something that Loki will eat, because I was using toppers, like food toppers for a while, but I still don't think he likes his food. 20, 40, 60, 80 going into this category. All right, so let's see what this category will have. 369 plus another 80 means this category will have 449. Okay, great. All right, new phone. New phone is going to get another 80. My husband is the one that's due for a new phone next. He, I don't think is in any rush to get a new phone, but I think he does know he needs one pretty soon. So let's see. That should be 815 once I add the 80. So let me add another 20, 40, 60, 80 into new phone. All right, and last category is new car. Again, no rush there. My car was making a weird noise for a little bit. I mean, it's still technically making a weird noise, but my car's at 110,000 miles, and not a weird noise, it's just an aged car noise, I guess you could say. So it is what it is. It's a 10-year-old, 110,000 mile car, So we now have 1,200 in the new car, and I put this last 50 in here. All right, let's go over to our sinking fund category, emergency fund category, and let's see what the tally is on this one. So as of the last time that we put in money, which was on May 3rd, and then the interest that we got, we are at $5,457 in that category. So let's see, what did we have in March? All right, so we're going to take what we have, 5,457 minus what we had in March, which was $4,429, which means since March to now we have increased it by $1,028. So that means we get to do another $1,028 in stickers on this 200 envelope challenge. That's really awesome. All right, so let's start with the next highest number, which is going to be 178. Like I said, I'm using this as a tracker just to visually, like I said, with the prop money, I'm a visual learner, a visual person. I have this hung up in my office at all times. So we're going to minus the 178. Okay, so that leaves us 850. So now we're going to close envelope number 177. I'm really, really, really excited that if we have over $5,000, that means we're 1/4 of the way there. So that one makes me really, really, really happy. All right, minus 176. That we are making that amazing progress. I absolutely love it. All right, minus 175. So we have 322 left to go. Minus 174. Okay. All right, and then the last we have is 148. So let's find envelope 148 right here. All right, so let's close envelope 148, and then that will be fully updated on our tracker. There we go. Okay, so look at that. We have the entire bottom row closed, almost half of the second row, and then we have a few sporadic ones over here that are closed as well. So that's awesome. We're doing amazing on that. So let me put that we had 5,457 as of 5/1. Okay, Great. So we now have all of our money allocated into our sinking funds. We have all of our tracker updated here, our sinking funds trackers updated here, and we get to do it all again in less than 2 weeks when we finish May challenges, but that's okay. That money, like I said, was sitting in my high yield savings account accruing interest and working for me, even if I didn't tell it exactly which category its job specifically was. But this is available in my Etsy, the sinking funds tracker. This is available from Budget with Ira, and then this cash planning sheet is available as a freebie in my Ko-fi. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.